Before I begin this video, do be warned that the following video involves annoying people. For people with high blood pressure, I do wish to inform you that this video may not be for you, lest your blood completely boils over.
Rated R for retarded.
Those of you who may not be familiar, let me inform you. Online artists, be it Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr, or any website, art is going to be present in some capacity. After all, the internet is a free zone for people to post and share whatever they want, right? Yes, that's what it's for. As long as you don't break TOS of a website, you should be relatively free to use the website as you see fit. On paper, this is how it plays out. However, there's a specific type of person that does not believe in the notion and believes that people should not be able to post what they want, and they should be silenced for specific posts. If you're familiar with these type of people, then you can already imagine what they look like. The unofficial policemen of the internet. Let me introduce you to the paragons of justice. They only seek to do what's right. If you are scared, never fear. The paragons of justice are here. You say something that's politically incorrect? Prepare to get deplatformed. You dislike something? No, you're not allowed to. How could you? You're getting doxxed tomorrow. In fact, we don't like you. We're doxing you just for that. Take that. Now your identity is known for everyone online to see. We successfully deleted and defeated the great evil. Now, wait a second. Why am I bringing up these people? Glad you asked. You see, there's an overlap in the art community. Whether or not, coincidentally, a lot of these artists are aligned with these values, or they have these values because they are artists and this is just a progression, is yet to be fully determined. What we do know is that numerous amounts of artists online, specifically from the western side of the world, have these paragon of justice left-aligned beliefs that push for the cancellation of specific types of people and behaviors. But don't get me wrong, the right does this too. Yeah, no, they don't really. As much as I'd like to both sides the argument and try and say one side does it and the other does, but I cannot in good faith say this. They have their own problematic artists, but despite what they draw, they simply keep to themselves. They don't promote for people to be deplatformed, nor do they really try and police what others do. So for this video, it's really just going to be bashing on one specific side of the argument. So, let's get back to what I was referring to. These paragons of justice. What exactly do they do? They are the policemen of the platforms. They decide what is and isn't problematic. The word problematic is one of their favorite words to use. For example, the use of AI is problematic to the art community. Now, I'm not going to completely be ignorant here and say, oh, it doesn't really affect them. I'm not blind like that to disregard the complaints and issues with AI's use. However, the way they go around doing it is just so unbearably annoying. Instead of saying something like, AI steals art from other artists and creates its own product, which I believe to be bad for us as a community because that's our way of life. They instead go around parading, saying things like, people who use AI are pathetic. They are talentless and losers of people. They don't deserve to call themselves real artists. Things like that. The way artists carry themselves all the time is, well, for the most part, just unbearably annoying, as I've said. That and the people that surround them. I, for one, is of the opinion that AI, at the moment, for the most part, looks a bit sloppy, sure. Sometimes misses the point, and can just outright look ugly at times. However, it's these types of people that cannot simply critique the medium and must attack the characters behind it as well. Furthermore, instead of engaging in intellectual discourse about it, is met with the following attitude: if you cannot understand why this is bad, then you are part of the problem too. Okay, that's just great. So not only if you use AI, you are a loser, but if you don't understand why it's harmful to those artists, you are part of the problem, meaning you are also a loser. That's already a massive part of the demographic of people. You want us to support you, yet you critique us by insulting us. And now you complain when people don't have any empathy for you? Completely backwards logic. This type of online artists are the types that would complain that people are unsympathetic and they do not care about the struggles of minorities. And yet, when it comes to the distress and risk of people they do not like, all of that concern and empathy is completely lost. Another area of the field I would like to mention is the sudden way minorities have to take precedence. What exactly do I mean by this? Well, if you don't make your characters black, you are racist. If you want a white cast only, you are racist. You want men only in your cast, you are sexist. If you want straight people in your cast only, you are homophobic. And the labels go on. The best example is whitewashing. This term is typically used when a person makes a character whiter or lighter than they actually are. Its actual definition would be to completely change the race of a character from any given minority, or just any other race, to be honest, that isn't Caucasian, to a Caucasian appearance. But there's a massive caveat to this statement. This rule does not apply the other way around. You see, if you make characters that were a different race and swapped it, then it doesn't really matter as long as the character does not end up white. An infamous example of this phenomenon is with the Dadadan situation and the Horikoshi situation. Talking about the former first, sparing a lot of the details, an artist decided to race swap the characters from the Dadadan. You see, the two characters on screen made them from Japanese students, because again, they wasn't even right to begin with. They wasn't white. These Japanese students, and made them black. This was naturally met with mixed reactions, given the aforementioned phenomenon. People are beginning to be aware of it. So when this happened, a massive debate online occurred. But most people were for the artist. There was some backlash, but the overwhelming support was drowning. From YouTube, other Twitter posts, unbelievable amount of support. Even before this, there was a Brazilian Miku situation where people race swapped a Japanese Vocaloid singer, which is pretty much just some AI robot thing, and they made her Brazilian. So tan skin, hairstyle to match, clothing, etc. And then somebody drew them with a lighter skin, which caused a problem. So let's get this straight. Somebody drew a Japanese character to be Brazilian, which when somebody draws that version of the character with lighter skin and is more in line with the original design, it's now a problem when this happens. Alright. Going back to the Dadadan situation, they started saying that people were racist for saying they shouldn't make Oricon black. They started policing the comments and everyone flocked to defend the artist. YouTube, Twitter, I've said it already. All this because they made Oricon black. An absolute nothing burger of a situation The other situation was when an artist, Horikoshi, decided to draw the character Marco from MHA. This, of course, was met with backlash saying, why did Horikoshi have to whitewash her, talking about racism and much more. Now, this is your average Twitter reaction to art they do not like, and of course it meets the standards of the phenomenon I mentioned earlier. However, there's something even worse about this particular situation. If you are not aware, Horikoshi is the creator of My Hero Academia, MHA. This means that the creator of the series himself made this drawing. These people are trying to police and decide what the creator of the character is doing with his own character. The self-entitlement and egotistical nature of these people cannot be made any clearer. This is my problem with the art community. They police what other people do because they deem it to be problematic, and it affects artists and people negatively. Yet they fail to recognize how utterly pointless what they're doing really is. If somebody draws a white character black or a black character white, that should not matter in any capacity. If I whitewash a character, it shouldn't matter at all. If I want to make Black Panther a white man, I should be able to do so. The reason for the bad reaction from the other side of the community is due to hypocrisy when it comes to this topic. Sure, the art community tries to act as if they want to distance themselves from this type of behavior. There is another group of people calling themselves art fixers. They typically go online and try to edit art by making it fit the modern audience or be more inclusive or something like that. Despite that, the art community and the art fixers have a lot more in common. Trying to force diversity and inclusion doesn't help either. Like, sure, you are allowed to draw whatever the hell you want. Yet, you people would double down and call someone some kind of racist or homophobe for not accepting your own interpretation. If somebody looks at a non-binary character, for example, or even one that's just not stated at all, and decided to go with this character is a male, there'll be immediate backlash. Yet, if you were to take an already pre-established character, like Sonic, and call him trans, then that's perfectly fine. I'm asking to be consistent. Either, no, we don't believe people should deviate from canon, and it's bad. No race swapping, no sex swapping, no gender, nothing, none of those kind of things. Or, the other belief, let people make whatever they want to make. It's their free will. Let them do what they want to do, as long as it's, well, of course, within the realms of legality and etc. Because the hypocrisy is just irritating and jarring to look at. I believe people can post whatever they want. However, the backlash to what they post is their own responsibility. Well, whatever. I've dragged this out long enough. I do have other things to say, but I don't want to keep on going. Besides, I'm not sure how many people this would even reach. And blah blah blah. Subscribe, please, I beg, subscribe. And like too. Like and share too. And spread this to all your other fellow chuddies, yeah. Because, to be honest, the right does need a bit more representation on this field. I'm not saying we should parade and say specific things about specific cases. However, I am of the belief that people should be able to draw what they want. If it's extreme, call it extreme. But trying to police something, especially when it's just an art form, is a bit too much, don't you think? People like Shad, man, yeah, they deserve to get out. He's making literal criminal material. However, so and as harmless as race swapping a character from white to black or black to white. Making a fuss out of that is just so utterly pathetic. Okay, well that's it. Now enjoy your nothing burger with a side of meaningless fries and nothing ever happened soda.